Ms. Ambrose, you were on the last council, and you just heard from Mr. Hall saying everything is on the table. It doesn't seem like every premier is willing to put everything on the table because last time a lot of people said it worked because it was a true Team Canada approach. Do you think that's lacking this time?
I think, look, if it is lacking, it falls on the shoulders of the Prime Minister because of if anything, the fiscal policy that this government has had over the last 10 years. I mean, let's step back and reflect on where we're at. First of all, it's great to hear that everything's on the table when Parliament isn't even in session. The people of Canada have elected their representative to sit in the House and address these types of issues. Parliament should be recalled immediately. The fact that we're all discussing these issues and lots of smart people are weighing in is great. But here's a thought. The people that are elected by Canadians should be talking about this in Parliament. There is nothing stopping the Prime Minister from recalling Parliament and having those people that are duly elected by Canadians that represent the will of Canadians discussing one of the biggest economic crises in the last decade. And second to that, there may not be this sense of unity because a lot of this falls on the Prime Minister's shoulders. We have a weakened, vulnerable economy, and that is all on him. It's not on President Trump. So we go into a trade war being one of the most unproductive countries in the OECD, having not addressed these issues when we knew Trump was going to be elected. We knew this at the end of October, definitely the beginning of November. Did we do anything to pivot to make our economy more competitive? No, we did nothing. In fact, we raised capital gains taxes on inventors and entrepreneurs and small business owners, which has been a drain on the economy. We can't attract capital into this country, and we have an issue of productivity and job creation. And now we're facing a president, which we knew wanted to create the most competitive country in the world. And he's doing exactly that in a very bold fashion. So it's not just about how we retaliate. It's about how we get our own house in order. And how have we responded? We've done nothing to date. I would also say this. Because I'm upset at the way the Prime Minister's run the country does not mean I am pro-Trump or pro his agenda, but I have to ask the Prime Minister, I have not heard him address the issue of fentanyl once. I don't know a lot about fentanyl. I do know that precursors were a problem even when we were in government a decade ago. They continue to be a problem coming in from China into Canada. We know that there's been busts of super labs that are created just for export of fentanyl to the United States. So even if the fentanyl issue is a small one, we have not heard the Foreign Minister of Canada, the Prime Minister of Canada, mention anything about this other than to say, we're not Mexico, we're not the problem. What if we're a tiny bit of the problem? Why can't we at least address the issue? It would just close one of the doors that seems to be open for the president to walk through and attack us on. So I would say on a number of fronts, I don't feel a ton of confidence that I feel like we've been just waiting for this trade war. And now of course, we're going to have to retaliate. We have to walk into this and do as much as possible to retaliate dollar for dollar. But that could also include retaliating on oil and gas, which is a terrible policy.